All right, welcome back to the Fan Forum. I am sitting here with my good friend Richard Scarcella, also known as the Hitch, aka the Colossus of Gout, aka the one and only. Sorry, I got nothing better than the Colossus of Gout.
That's awesome. The big toe.
That's something I came up with like 3 weeks ago that I've been waiting to just pepper in.
You worked. You found your spot. Took your shot.
Good.
You know why?
Good.
You know why they call gout the king's disease, right?
Why is that?
Because it's historically a disease caused by a terrible diet, or an affliction caused by a terrible diet and overconsumption of alcohol. And so back in the day, who were the only ones that were fat and well fed and could just drink and drink and drink if they wanted to? The kings, right? It's the king's affliction. They're overweight.
What are you trying to say about yourself?
That I'm overweight and I drink too much. But actually, I've never had gout. Knock on wood.
Well, there's always hope for 2025.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, you know what? You brought this up to me this past week about how nice it's been to see this activity on the Fan Forum.
For sure.
Facebook page. You get a lot of text. I get a lot of text from the people that listen, and just some of our friends too with ideas. So I'm scrolling through this page right now, man, and it's kind of funny to see some of the guys and some of the questions. Right, your brother probably and his link to Kevin Bacon had to be one of the most popular non-football related posts I've ever
Dude, and
seen.
I'll say this. I'll take it in this direction for a hot second. I fucking love the fact that John, my brother John, my twin brother, has kind of become this like trending hashtag on our page, because that guy will blindly support any endeavor that I'm on. And he listens sometimes. I don't think he listens often, but he shares the post. He does what we ask people to do. And that guy, I don't think has ever watched a football game in his life. And I just love the fact that the Fan Forum is for everybody. And you don't have to be a football fan if you come bring in the heat and keep the conversation going. I love that John, the anti-football fan, is like this trending topic right now.
His post, there was like over 300 people engaged.
That's
with
awesome.
it. I mean, you're right. Honestly, we have a Fan Forum page, and it's for the Lions, but let's be honest, dude, it's for whatever you're a fan of.
Yeah.
And we're all clearly a fan of John Scarcella
Absolutely.
because it's kind of refreshing to see that we're doing this on a year where the Lions just had their best season ever,
Absolutely.
right? So everybody's engagement for them is high, but I'm really starting to see people enjoying some non-football related things that we're talking about, and it makes it so fun because you're right, dude. It's the off season. We can't hammer on this team anymore because they're not a shitty team.
Right. It's less in that way. It's less for us to get on here and bloviate about.
Exactly.
And that's, I mean, if you watch us, I love you for it. But our last episode, we talked for 25 minutes about what? I mean, we talked a little bit of football, and then we get into conspiracy theories and who the fuck killed Michael Jackson, and we go all over the place, and it's been a lot of fun, dude.
Yeah, it is, and I'm starting to really enjoy all the key little Easter eggs that you've left in the shop. Right?
Oh yeah.
I need to actually come over there and play a game of darts. I think that would be fun.
I got a new dartboard in the mail.
It looks
new dartboard in the mail, upgraded in
Do
a
you?
big old way. We've been playing a lot of darts out here. I've always played a lot of darts, but this board is dead. You can't hit a bullseye; it bounces back.
Is it?
Yeah. So come over when I get the new dartboard. We'll throw some real darts.
Okay. We'll have a new dartboard party. That's another thing we need to start really hammering in on is everybody that is currently watching. So just so you know that these episodes are going to come out every Tuesday at 6:30. And our goal is to get you right after the Lions, after football, right? So you watch your Lions on Sunday, you watch your Monday Night Football, and then you tune in on Tuesday nights to watch us. It's going to come out early on Spotify, though. I'm going to make the releases like 6, 7 a.m. on Tuesday for Spotify.
Morning drive, right?
But I
People like
want
the morning
every...
commute.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Almost everyone that I know listens to us weekly. They listen to us in their drive to work.
But what I want to get some of our friends that, have been, and this is where I was headed with the fan forum page, is there's been so many contributors and so many comments and text messages and ideas. I want people during the season to feel comfortable calling in. You don't have to put your face on here, but whether we're doing a live or whether we're just doing pre-recorded, you can call in, talk some shit whenever you want, and then hang up. But I truly want this to be about the fans, right? And your opinion. So there's only so much Hitch and I and Wayne can ramble on about. So I'm hoping that the next season that's coming up, we get a lot of engagement on this podcast too.
Oh yeah. You know what? Is there a way for us to get like a free Google Voice number and just leave that voicemail box open?
Yeah, there's a
Somebody
way to
wanted to
anything.
call in, didn't necessarily want to be heard on air or on air. They could fly in, ask their question, and hang up. Right? That would be a
That's actually a really good idea. Yeah, we can play
Yeah.
them. I think I'm going to do that while when we're done recording. I'll consult with Krang, and he can walk me through how to
So
set one
I'm
of those
assuming
up.
that Krang is the doctor from our lives, right?
He is the
I want to
doctor,
get the
yeah.
doctor on the show. Doc, I know you watch and I know you listen and you join the lives. Gauntlet laid down. Come on the show. Bring the heat.
He will come on actually, and he's got his other buddy that I guess it would be the do. His name's Anthony. He was the one contributing to that live so much. So I want to get both
Yeah.
of them on because they are not shy.
Let's get them all
They
on.
know how to come on and cut a promo,
Yeah, dude.
and I think it
Let's
would be
get
a
them
blast.
all
They're
on.
both
We
football
can make
fans.
this screen look like the fucking Brady Bunch.
We can, and that's where I'm headed with this, man. I really want to get everybody on here, and I think the Google phone number is a great idea. Getting the doc on would be fun. I still have a special guest that we haven't figured out when, but he's going to come on and give you a piece of his mind. We've also got TH, Tom Herman. Not
he's
that it
moving
matters
back.
where he lives, but he's
I heard
back.
he's moving back.
Dude, that's big news, man. So TH, we need to get him on here. He's a freaking riot.
Yeah, dude.
Sports or no sports, he can entertain
Well,
the shit
he
out
is
of
like
us.
a walking, talking stand-up comedian in daily life, but he knows
He
his
is.
sports, dude.
He does. He knows his
I was
hockey
going to say,
too,
I would
which
love
think
to get
we're
him on
lacking
here and talk some hockey.
So let's get TH on here. I want to get Bob on here. If you're listening to our intro, the music is by Leanne Lesage. She's a local artist and a friend of ours. He's on YouTube, and I know he plays local, not as much, but check his stuff out. I can personally say, just not he's my friend. His music has evolved immensely, and I thoroughly enjoyed listening to it.
This
So
is where you
check
got to
him out
throw
too.
in a hair club for men ad, right? We talked about the retro ads because he's not only a member, he's also a client, right?
He is a client. I was thinking of a Dietrich Furs. What do you think?
Oh, the possibilities are endless, dude. The Dietrich Furs, the the Mel Fars, right? There's so many good retro Detroit commercials. We'll start looping these in, I think.
Did you like that, Mr. Allen?
Oh yeah, 2 for 50.
I passed that old store on 8 Mile where it used to be, and it's called Snipes now. They bought out Mr.
So is
Allen.
it a dispensary or a strip club?
No, it's an actual clothing
Really?
store, shockingly.
No shit.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still $29 or $2 for $50 if they have good deals, but I'm tempted to go in, but it just I actually shopped there back in the day, dude. I would buy my FUBU jerseys and my sneakers and I will find a picture of me in my FUBU
Oh,
jersey.
I hope you do. You're the
It was
whitest
an
whitest
A-
guy I know, by the way.
Well, I'm trying to think what grade it was in. It was in 8th
I was going to
grade.
say that
7th or 8th
screams
grade?
7th grade to me, man. The FUBU jerseys
Yeah.
and the white shoes.
It
and-
was in high school.
Did you own a pair of Jags
yeah,
or
it was
pipes?
7th grade. Pipes,
You had a
yeah,
pair of
and the
pipes?
baggy jeans for sure.
Yeah.
Baggy ass
Boots
jeans.
with
oh, yeah.
with the fur.
I never had the Jags. The shoes I had, I was Jordans. What else? Doc Martens.
I was always the Payless Doc Martin knockoff. Fucking A.
Well, I mean, and I give you a lot of credit for not giving a two shits about the brand or that because, I mean, I was such a brand whore growing up with the Abercrombie and Hollister and Nautica and Polo, and everything had to be a certain this or that. And man, now I'll tell you what, I get excited when we go to Costco and I find a pair of basketball shorts from
or
Costco.
those jeans that are designed to stretch a little bit, right?
Dude, what about their polos, their Callaway polos for super
They got
cheap?
the Adidas stuff there too. You get a pair of like jogging pants or something for like $12.
They have Banana Republic there
really?
at Costco.
That
So,
was a big thing. Like in the '80s, I can remember being a little kid, and Banana Republic was the big thing.
It's the 3 Fs: form, fit, and function. I mean, that's how you buy clothes now,
Yep.
right? And being super cheap too. That helps.
Three
But,
Fs.
yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, form, fit, or function, baby. Never
I
heard
was
that?
thinking food, fun, and fucking.
Well, that's another one. Those are the 3 Fs of the automotive industry.
True.
But the other ones would be the 3 Fs of the Scarcella house.
Right. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'll tell you what, these beers are.
Is that a bottle of vodka right behind you?
Yes, it is. This is a remnant from the shop party that we had last night. A little Smirnoff Cherry. Go with the Red Bulls.
Oh,
little
Jesus.
little bottle of Bullet left up over there. We went through a lot of beers last night too. It was a fun night.
What were we celebrating?
Life.
Ah, okay. I wasn't sure if it was a birthday or
No, it
something.
was just a good excuse to get together. It was a beautiful night. We had a ton of good food we had to cook. Bob had a bunch of venison that he wanted to clear out before this season, and my brother-in-law drove all the way down from Lansing. Cheers to Mike. He brought some twice smoked shredded ham that was like next level. He brought a log of smoked bologna. We just sat out here and played darts, listened to music, ate great food, drank beers. It was phenomenal. I think I shut the lights off here at 3:30 in the morning.
Speaking of smoked, I had this smoked risotto from Alma Kitchen over by you on Mac. If you guys get a chance to go there, I highly recommend it. It was just phenomenal. And it was small. It was quiet. It was small menu, not busy, not loud. It was really nice.
This is the season where I tend to cook all the time. The barbecue is going every weekend and during the week. This is the time of the year where we probably eat out very little, but I'll add it to the list.
I mean, that's kind of what people do, you know. I mean, we got the Blackstone for Christmas, and I haven't seasoned it yet, but I got it all put together.
Call me when you're seasoning it.
So
dude. We'll have a little. Every time any of my friends get a blacksmith, we have like a seasoning party, right? Let's rock and roll, because what you season that
put some grease on the Blackstone.
The best two things that you can season a Blackstone with. Don't buy that Blackstone brand seasoning goo. The best two things that you can season a Blackstone with are yellow onions and bacon. So you go to the store, you buy a couple pounds of bacon and a bag of onions. I'll come over and dice them up for you. Dice up some bacon, throw that on there, and we're just gonna have like a bacon party at your house. We do it every time.
Ladies and gentlemen, that would be something that you would have full access to watching, is Hitch chopping up endless onions and endless bacon.
Tears streaming down my face.
Crying and sweating.
Just like when I sat out here and I cried, dude, when the Lions beat the Chiefs on the road 2 years ago. That was like some onion crying, dude. I wept tears of joy. So
that's a good question, man. Has there really been a game? It doesn't even have to be the Lions, but let's just say a Detroit team game where we won, where you actually got emotional. Has there been
the first and only time that I dead ass cried, and I've only ever told one other person this, and I believe that she kept my secret. After we went on the road, week one, I think it was Thursday Night Football, right, 2 years ago. We beat the Chiefs, and I couldn't contain myself. I cried. I sat in the garage by myself and cried.
Okay.
Yeah, for real. Not ashamed of it.
I don't think a game has ever brought me to tears. I've gotten angry, but the surreal moment, I don't know if I had one. Maybe, it probably was, and I do remember the 97 Cup for the Wings.
Absolutely.
Where I remember walking outside after that, and it's just like you could feel the entire city around us vibrating, and I would equate that might be what we would look like if the Lions won. Now, I know 84 when the Tigers won, everybody went nuts, but in my timeline, dude, the 97 Cup win was probably like Oh my God, we won! Holy crap!
I've had some super memorable experiences relating to the Red Wings. I've never been in a game where they won the cup, but I had a near and dear family friend that took me to a ton of playoff games. She took me and Ronnie to a playoff game when we were kids in high school. I was there with her for what, game five, I think, in Detroit at the Joe against Pittsburgh, where it went into like a ridiculous number of overtimes, like six overtimes or something. And the stadium ran out of water, ran out of beer, ran out of pop. They were giving away popcorn and shit. And we were at the Joe till 2:30 in the morning. I think that was probably my most memorable Red Wings experience.
Dude, that's got to be the worst, where they run out of every beverage and they just keep feeding you
Yeah,
popcorn.
for real, dude. I didn't even think about that, but you're right.
That's torment.
You're
man.
absolutely right.
I went to I think it was an ALDS or ALCS game with the Tigers, and it was kind of funny. It was 2000 and I don't know. It was probably fucking 2007 to whatever in that era, and the game got rescheduled, and they had to reschedule it in the afternoon. And I still have the ticket stub, and Corey Adcock and I went,
Herb.
and it was one of those, Uncle Herb, and it was one of those games where they had to reschedule it during the day, and he texts me and he's like, this is before married, kids and everything, and he's like, hey, do you want to just take the day off work and go? I'm thinking, when are we going to have a chance? Tickets
Yup.
were so cheap. We paid $37 to sit. It was the first baseline. It was I was a great seat for $37. You couldn't beat it.
Oh, yeah,
and I'm
dude.
just thinking to myself, that was another really cool game where I'm at going, wow, this is awesome. We were in the playoffs. It was still in the hype era. It may have been the Prince Fielder time. I don't remember. I'm gonna find that stub though.
Dude, Prince Fielder's son just hit a dinger in like AAA. So now this is on our radar where we're in the third generation of professional baseball fielder. That made me feel old.
That might be something that I actually have to check off a bucket list. Is okay. I've seen Cecil Fielder, I've seen Prince Fielder play, and now I need to
Gotta
see
find the grandson.
The grandson. Yeah, I think he got drafted by Milwaukee too.
I don't
didn't
know.
he?
I mean that would make sense. I don't know. I remember reading. I think it was the minors, and of course the name of this minor league team didn't ring a bell, but that would be very fitting.
I mean, his kid was hanging out in the locker room with the Tigers, just like he was hanging out in the locker room with
Yeah,
his dad.
for real, dude. It's kind of a neat story. I'm trying to find this
Just
picture
too
of me
bad.
crying after this fucking game, and I can't find it, dude.
Oh, so he is Jaden Fielder.
Jaden hitting bombs.
Yeah, Jaden. Jaden hitting Jaden. Yeah, he is in the Brewers organization, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Team, that same organization that drafted
Yeah,
Prince.
that is pretty dope. I'm almost to where this picture should be. Oh yeah, there they are.
What picture?
I
are we
took a
doing?
selfie of me crying in my garage after that game because I was so astonished. I was so astonished by the fact that I was just beyond my control. I could not cry. I was so excited. Yeah, I may not send these out. These are pretty embarrassing. Anyways.
Good God.
Anyways.
Dude, you want to talk about embarrassing? I've got video from Levati cheerleading back in 2009 at CMU.
You know what? Speaking of Levatis, Uncle Phil was here last night. He joined the shop night for a little while.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it was a good time. Good time had by all.
Uncle Phil was over last night? Good.
What do we got here?
Let's see. Oh, we're going to watch something fun today, Hitch. Don't you worry.
I'm never worried.
I just need to remember how to do this.
Oh boy.
Okay, so
Oh boy.
we're going to try and find him in here. This is 2009 Cheerleading Nationals with Mike Levati.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, this is all
like the
girls.
starting linebacker from our varsity 04 football team, by the way.
He played
I believe
linebacker?
so.
Hold on, this isn't the right video. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Man, when I tell you he absolutely hated the spirit portion of it, he absolutely had zero spirit and did not care. I mean, you'll see him. They got to pull these mats, and this
Where
is.
is he?
Wait, hold on. He's in here somewhere.
He's inside one of those mats, isn't he? Like he's gonna jump out of the
He
out of
is.
the birthday cake.
He accidentally got stuck inside. There he is, right there. There's Lavati.
That's some serious
Boom.
mats going on there.
Well, I mean, come on, dude. They're throwing women all over the place. You don't want them falling. I'll give him credit, dude. I watched him learn
him
how
jumping
to
up
do
and down
his.
right there?
No, that's him right there. He refuses to have spirit. This guy hates spirit. Now his buddies were his roommates too. After he lived with me, they're all real nice guys. They got into it, but Mike, man, I'll tell you what, he hated
How does
it.
somebody become a collegiate cheerleader at a relatively gigantic, renowned school without ever cheerleading before?
Well, I'll tell you what, this is how all the guys get locked in. So we were all at the basement gym working out at Central, and these girls, mind you, all right here, come walking up to us and say, "We need your help moving some mats."
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So Michael was driving, and I said, I don't know, he's driving, so we'll help you if you need. But, yeah, sure, okay, let's be nice. We walk in there. The second we walk in there, it's cheerleading tryouts.
God.
There's no help of moving
Oh,
mats.
God.
Right? So you got catfished into going. And me being the jokester, I said, hey, he's interested. Here's his number. Get him out there, right? So he starts doing it. And, he's a bigger dude, ex-football player. Did really good. Like, he actually was really good at this.
Can he do all these flips and shit that some of these guys were doing?
Yeah, he does all the same shit these guys do. There he is.
He just did a flip.
See? He just did a... Yeah.
A guy that big shouldn't be able to do a backflip, man.
Shouldn't, but could.
So what you're saying is I have a chance, dude. The backflip ship has not sailed for a guy like me.
Hitch, we can get you in the air. We can make you a flyer in no
Get
time.
me in the air, maybe if throw me off the roof or something. I don't know. Never been very athletic.
Hey, I'm not saying I'm going to catch you. A guy like you, that strikes me.
Well, I was athletic as a kid, dude, but look at me now. The guy like me can't do a goddamn backflip. That ship has sailed.
I don't know what I was watching, but they were talking about, it was just like players that played football and all the dirty things they did to give themselves a competitive advantage, right, in high school. And it just reminded me of you in the pile.
Oh, yeah,
and the
dude. That was
pinching.
some fun shit, man.
And I guess you weren't the only one, because there was a few guys that said as soon as they got in there, like their main thing that they brought to the team was their like their pinching and poking in the pile.
Dude, I remembered a game after Brandon McWhorter came out. I was on the sideline at this time, and he got into a pile, and he came up limping, and he was screaming, dude. He got a penalty for taking his helmet off on the field. Somebody had twisted his ankle, like, hard at the bottom of this pile. So when I got my we had no idea. He had no idea who twisted his ankle. But when I got out there and got into these piles for the rest of that game, oh, boy. I had some fun.
Pile grabbing.
You have no idea. I can't go into specifics here without getting like a shadow ban, but yeah, we had some fun with those guys. I think it was Marine City.
God, we had no business playing teams like that back then.
No, dude, their third string safeties were bigger than our offensive linemen. Man, it was weird.
Yeah, it's still no different. I swear it's something in the water around here, because even playing soccer, like we're playing this team today, and the kids are just so much thicker and bigger. And there's Jason's team, just a bunch of tall, skinny white boys, trying their best, but yeah, they don't have the size.
Dude, if Lakeview Athletics, specifically football, could have won, excuse me, based on heart and based on how hard we fucking tried. But we were so bad, dude. We were so bad. I was a terrible hockey player,
Yeah.
terrible football player. I played sports for a long time, and I think I may have maybe won a total of like 15 games across all sports. I mean, we were bad.
Well, I'm sorry you never made it pro.
I don't know how.
I'll be your size and
I
your
don't
weight.
know how at 5'5" with a 5'2", 40. I don't know how I was overlooked.
You know, you got your RASP score. How do you measure heart? Is there a heart score at the
There
combine?
should be, man. I think you
And they're
you
sitting there going, "God
sit
damn
these
it,
guys
he's
down and
fat."
let them watch a couple Hallmark movies, see how they respond. Put them in some scenarios, dude. Be helping ladies across the street and everything, and we could quantify it.
He's slow. He's half blind. He chain smokes, and he sweats a lot. But god damn it, he's got heart.
During my football turn in high school, my uncle started calling me Rudy, and still to this day he calls me Rudy. He basically was saying, I've never seen someone so bad at football that has tried so fucking hard to be good at football.
Well, you can't knock a kid for trying, right?
We were
you can't knock the hustle,
hitting
as
the
they
weight
say.
room, and we were doing that shit with the stupid ropes, and I got like super strong. I was just a terrible football player, dude. Terrible.
You were really great at hacky sack, though. I will say that.
Still to this day, dude, at my heaviest, at like 230, I could still kick a bag.
Well, that's impressive considering all you have to do is turn your leg 45
Gets
degrees.
harder and harder as we age.
It does, actually. You're not wrong about that.
Oh, yeah. So where are we going with this? What else do we got to talk about? I got a few things on the list here. We're going to do some fan engagement, maybe some football food. Like, where are we going with this?
Well, we did talk a little bit about fan engagement, then we got off the fucking rails pretty hard
This
on
is
that.
true.
But, you know, we need to talk, too, about our fantasy football draft. I was thinking, you know, not only, I don't think we need to have a fan forum team. I think I need to have a team. You need to have a team. Wayne needs to have a team. Our friends, Jason, and we need to get some, there needs to be buy-in from everybody, right? I want that fan forum fantasy football league to generate some good conversation on here.
Yeah, dude.
You know, we can even have our fan forum fantasy football draft live on YouTube,
Hell yeah.
right? And get these guys to log in. I can get Jason with me right here, but I was thinking if we just have a team for the league, I think it'll just make it less fun. I want you to have a buy-in.
Yeah.
People can start weighing in on how shitty your team's going to do, how good my team will do.
That's a good idea, dude.
Wayne can pretend that, you know, they don't have fantasy football in Canada or something.
Wayne will set a record for being the first guy on ESPN platform to draft someone from the CFL, right?
That's true.
Let's do it, though. That's a great idea to have a little skin in the game, because previously we were just doing the fan forum team, and I think we were limiting it to like 12, but it would be a great problem to have a 20-man league or two 12-man leagues or something. We should rock and roll, and I love the idea of streaming it.
And I'll tell you what, the winning prize will be you get to pick whatever you want from the website.
Ooh, there you go.
We'll give you some
there
gear.
You go.
Right? So if you want a hoodie, if you want a hat, if you want a mug, if you want us to make something that says, we can even do a hoodie that says, you know, champion, right? And I think we should also have a trophy. Come up with a trophy to pass around. I've been looking for a fantasy football league to get back into,
dude,
that has some legacy
with
to
this
it
website,
since I was in my last one, and I think this would be a good one to do.
With this website that we have for our merch, could you get like a legit football printed with like the fan forum logo, a deadhead? Could that be the trophy?
Could be. Yep. I also have a ton of obscure old trophies from work that they're at work that are super cool that we could change out the plaques if we wanted to be ironic, right? If you wanted an old softball trophy from 1981, or that just looks quirky. But we could do a serious one and a fun one. But yeah, I think the prize of winning some merch would be cool with our stuff on it. would be
Well,
fun,
if
right?
Tim is still listening by any chance, I have your Branch jersey from last year or 2 years ago still in the back pocket of this my driver's seat. Uh, you want to hook up and get that jersey? It's still in the package. I haven't cracked it open and worn it.
That's not a bad idea. I think I'm gonna have it set it up to where Greshak kicks your door in one day while we're
Where's
on
my
live
fucking jersey?
and calls you out. I want my jersey right now.
I just immediately
And you guys battle it out.
immediately picture Step Brothers where Will Ferrell kicks in the door dressed like a lumberjack, right?
That's what I see Greshak doing.
Well, the jersey's here.
You can maybe set that
Jersey's
up.
here if he wants it.
Dude, speaking of fan engagement, I know I told you this, but I ran into Mark LeCaire from high school. Well, actually, all the way from elementary school. And he mentioned the podcast, but he also mentioned that he's interacted with Dan Campbell and Rod Wood, and he was
Class acts.
It was just cool.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he just said how nice they were and how they see him working around in Grosse Pointe. They see a lot of the Lions coming and going because they're heavily involved with the Ford family, and there is a little rumor that Dan Campbell might be moving to Grosse Pointe. So
I've heard that. I've heard that over the last few years. I know he had to leave the home he was in because of these douchebag fans that showed up at his house, and I had heard a rumor that he was building a home like a couple miles down the road here.
he could never confirm nor deny, but he kind of shook his head and said, "Yeah, I've heard that too." So I don't know. It was really cool to meet a local cop that we knew, and he's just seeing the local celebrities, because really it's been since the Red Wings, since you had athletes living in Grosse Pointe. A lot of the Tigers, well, Cabrera does, but a lot of them live in like West Bloomfield,
over
Royal
by
Oak,
the practice
Birmingham.
facilities and over, that way downriver to getting themselves close to work. But Girls Point's a nice city.
So it's cool to hear. Yeah, it is nice, and hear some buddy on the east side say, "Yeah, I see them all the time. They're coming and going." It was
like
cool.
when we were kids.
So shout
when
out
we
to
were
Mark.
kids, it wasn't weird to see a bunch of Red Wings at like Beach Grill or some shit. They were kind of part of the community.
It wasn't.
Jerry Stackhouse
And I
kept
think
his
that
boat
goes to
on
show-
the nautical mile.
That goes to show too about the city being back and the teams being back, is that the athletes are now back living in the community. To your point, right? It won't be uncommon to see MCDC hanging out at.
Oh, he screams Jax. If he was a single man, he would be at Jax every night, dude.
If he was a single man, yeah. But I could see him, pick one of the little restaurants in the park or any restaurant up and down Jefferson.
Yeah.
He's a local man. He's Mike Winarski. He lives or used to live out by him. He posts all the time pictures of him at a party store with Dan Campbell smiling. Like, how cool is that?
Huh.
So he just, yeah. And I messaged him and I go, dude, that's awesome. How did you, see him or meet him? And he's like, he lives over here and I see him all the time. So it's just like cool because I don't really remember people running in Scotty Bowman or AJ Hinch or other coaches, right? You just don't really hear that. But Dan Campbell, literally, I'm telling you.
He's a man about town.
Man about town, but, I threw this question out to the fan forum, who is the face of Detroit sports nowadays?
Uh-oh.
And there was a lot of people
Something just happened.
that...
My computer's dying, I think. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know if that'll come through, but my lights just flickered. My computer went dark. It's a poltergeist. It's a real poltergeist.
Do you really want to go down that route?
Maybe.
I don't think you have time to go into interdimensional conversation.
I think I might. I do have to pee, though.
Well, think about this, though. This is where I was going with this, and then we can head out. But before we tap out, before you pee your pants, the face of Detroit sports, right? There was a lot of toss-up, but I think the unanimous name now is Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
He has earned it to be the top of Detroit
Brett
sports.
chimed into that thread on the fan forum, and everybody was throwing out names, and then he's like, "This is your guy," and of course, this is the guy. He's the face of Detroit right now.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah, for so many reasons of how he behaves, what he represents. Everything about him. I don't think we could ask for a better mayor of
Keep
Detroit.
talking.
And that's really what he is. He's the frickin' mayor of this city. You know what's funny? Hitch still hasn't figured out if he's gonna pee, he needs to mute his microphone. So I'll just take care of that for him now. But no, I really want to thank everybody for listening, for chiming in with all the feedback. The comments are really cool, especially on the shorts. Whether you're friends of ours or not, I really just appreciate it. So big shout out to the Levatis, Bob, all the guys on the at work that listen. Big shout out to John Scarcella. He was a big contributor with the Kevin Bacon. And I can't say this enough, though, but John, you need to come on here so that we can finally end this discussion of who the best twin is. I know it's you. The world knows it's you, but I think Hitch needs to be sat down and explained why he is subpar. And also, give a quick look out at the Fourth Wall website. If you go on our YouTube page, I'm going to show you right now. You can see that we've got a link here that brings us right down to our merch. So go on here, take a look at the merch, and spend some money, buy some stuff. Now let's
know it yet, but this is what everyone in my entire lexicon is getting for Christmas, right? You want a koozie, you want a coffee mug, you want a hat. You're all getting branded Fans Forum gear for Christmas. So start looking now.
I subscribe to that thought process too. Should have got Mayor something for Mother's Day for the Fan Forum.
That would have been dope. That little wine glass like your mother-in-law likes, that would be right up her alley.
It's not a bad idea. Well, so I was just, I reminded everybody that I had to mute your microphone because although we couldn't see you, we were going to be able to hear everything and anything you did. So I just thanked everybody that listens. I told them that your brother is the superior twin, and we need to get him on here so that we can show you that you are subpar to John.
Always, in every avenue of life. He's even a better athlete.
He is.
So
actually.
Before,
and then
go ahead.
Yeah, before we go, what do you got to say?
So maybe
brother?
I don't know if I can pull up our text because we text each other a lot. It might be buried, but we've been poking around at this face of Detroit and who in your memory is like the Detroit guy, not like Dan Campbell being this polarizing personality, but like over time, our lifetimes, who was like those guys that had the grit before grit was a thing. Like who makes your top 5 or top 10 list of like Detroit players, not players that play in Detroit, but guys that were like built for this culture. Do you have
who are my top 5?
I'm gonna pull up mine. I think I texted them to you, but do you have a little list in your head here?
Oh yeah, you're talking about. I got you. Yeah, so the ones that come to my mind as far as the grittiness, the culture, the mindset, the fight, the everything about it. The first 2 people that come to my head are Rick Mahorn and Bill Lambier. Those are the first
Solid.
Punching and elbows. Yeah. They just, for me, they epitomize everything that this city is about.
You got any more?
Oh yeah. So then 3, 4, and 5. You've got Darren McCarty.
Nice.
Hands down. This guy will die for this city.
He was gonna make my list, but I can't get behind the Darren McCarty of Woodward Sports. I can't get behind Darren McCarty with his Red Wings red braids talking about football. You know, his legacy to me is tainted a little.
And then I would probably say Chris Draper. That's another one.
Solid.
Who, to me, embodies the city of Detroit. And then number 5, if you really had to dial it down to number 5, I would probably have to say number 5, I would have to say Miguel Cabrera, because he's always been such a I feel like he had our back when the times were the toughest, and he did not have to stick around here, even though I know he did for financial reasons. But he's another one. I feel like if you could just plug him in anywhere in Michigan, he fits right in.
Triple Crown winner, man. What he did years back was so special, and I'm so happy to be able to say that I was here for it and that I paid attention to it, because that Triple Crown season where he got it all together. I mean, I can't recall seeing baseball like that before or since.
What about you? What obscure player from 1932 did you?
So Mark, you asked me to do this. I was at work in the middle of like putting out fires and mitigating a crisis, and you said who exemplifies Detroit for you? And just off the top of my head, I came up with a list. You found this to be pretty entertaining, I think. No particular order here, but Brandon Inge, Stevie Y.
Good God.
Yeah, Brandon Inge, Stevie Y, Herman Moore, Sean Avery, and I put a little asterisk by that. Sean Avery maybe, and Luther fucking Ellis.
So hold on. We're gonna start with Sean Avery. You pick the one Red Wing that doesn't have his name etched on a cup.
That's fine, dude. He had grit.
From an era. Okay. It's just okay, so that's all I'll put with Sean Avery.
He had grit.
Then you had Brandon Inge.
Yeah, dude, and I didn't.
The guy that went to the home run derby and couldn't hit a home run.
He was so out of place there. That was such a joke, and that was set up for failure, dude. He caught breaking balls that year like you wouldn't believe, and he sent them out to left field. It was the shorter side of the stadium, and then they take him over to like where was that? In Milwaukee with the deepest fucking left field in the fucking game. It's like asking him to hit a home run over the monster. They set him up for failure.
Okay, Comerica's left field wall is 342.
Okay.
And you're saying Milwaukee?
I don't know where it was. I just remembered thinking that this is set up. This is going to be bad. I didn't think he'd goose egg it, but...
Dude, 0 home runs.
I didn't think you would goose egg
and you're
it.
getting softballs lobbed to you.
Yeah, by a pitcher of your choice. But the reason that Inge makes my list, and I didn't appreciate him as much as I should have when he was here. My wife fucking loved him. I have an Inge jersey in her closet inside right now. But the ultimate utility player. You ask that guy to be a catcher, he's a good catcher. You ask him to play third base, first base, shortstop, center field, he does it. I believe he pitched in a crazy overtime game. I think he threw like 6 or 7 pitches during a game. The guy's like the ultimate utility player, and what embodies Detroit? You're asked to do it, and you fucking do it. Do it well.
Okay, so hold on. We got to slow this down real quick. What year was that he hit the
I don't
home run
fucking
derby?
know, dude.
That had to be 2006.
The only home run derby he was ever in, of course.
What? Oh, was it 2009?
Could be. Very well.
Oh, my Lord. It was 2009. Okay. So let's see this. It was at Busch Stadium in St. Louis.
So
Busch Stadium.
left field. I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
Their left field's 330. It's the same goddamn thing as Comerica.
Then he couldn't catch a break. But were you...
You and your conspiracy theories. He
get
sucks.
the tinfoil hat. No, dude, he was never the all-star. I mean, he was an all-star, but he was never the habitual gold glove winning all-star, but he just showed up to work.
Well, because he had to show up to work. He was a below-average baseball player that was lucky to get a spot on a team. He's a career 233 hitter.
233 is not bad for a utility guy that started as a catcher.
Oh, all-time Detroiter, and this is who you picked.
Dude.
We have all these
Off
Hall
the
of
top
Famers.
of my head. You didn't ask me most successful athlete. You said who embodies the spirit of Detroit.
I know.
Brandon Inge.
That is what you think of when you think of the spirit of Detroit?
One of the 5.
Oh, good God. All right. Well, it's a free country. You're welcome to it. So what was your other one? You got Sean Avery, played here for like 60 seconds.
Played
Brandon
here for
Inge.
years and was a thorn in everybody's side. He was the embodiment of Dino Ciccarelli.
Okay, but not Dino Cicerelli. So who else? Who was else? Luther
Oh
Ellis.
yeah, you can't trash Luther.
I'm not trashing him. This is
You
just funny
cannot
because
trash it.
I knew if it was going to be a Lion, it was going to be an early '90s
Dude, it
Lion,
was
and it's such a fitting
that
pick.
guy
I think
cooked.
that
You
is the
let that
best.
guy cook, he cooked. Family
Yes,
man,
yes.
fucking oft injured later in his career, but just embodiment of Detroit. Come here and take on double teams and be a fucking force and don't be a shitbag off the field. He was awesome.
Yeah, played here for quite a while too, 95 to '03.
Yep. Yep.
Now I can understand that. I can definitely understand that. Did he have a nickname?
I don't know.
I thought he had a nickname, a good nickname. Not apparently. So who else was on that list too?
Luther Ellis, Sean Avery, Brandon and Stevie Y. I mean, that's the low hanging fruit. But I watched the guy skate live and in color at the Joe on one knee, dude. We went to the finals with him with one knee, not an injured knee, dude. Like
So
he had a full fucking knee replacement and hip surgery after that game. He was out there on one leg. You remember that?
well, does it? He's got two legs right now, and do you think he's ruining his image with the way he's running this team?
The Iser plan at this late stage of this game is going to go one way or the other, obviously, and I think that he has this 1 year to prove that the Iser plan, albeit a long, slow burn, is going to pay off. I mean, we have been what, 2 years ago we were one game out of the playoffs. It took us down to the last game to try to get the point. Last year was made for some really interesting hockey, good, bad, and otherwise. And the pipeline, so they call it, the Red Wings pipeline is filthy, dude. We got two or three guys ready to step up and play to their potential and potentially be awesome in the net between the pipes. We keep drafting defensemen. We keep doing the thing. This is the year. We're going to make the playoffs.
Well, when does
We're going to make the
I was
playoffs.
say when does potential become entertaining? Because
There
the Tigers have done
there
it,
was some
but what's
entertaining
going on?
hockey happening in the D after the coaching change and the winning streaks, and we started just firing the puck on net this year. He's had some swings and misses in free agency, but as far as the draft goes, the pipeline is strong, and this is the year that it has to, put up or get out. Right? If we make the playoffs this year, I think he buys himself another year. But if we make the playoffs and knock a team out and get into that second round, I think he buys himself another 3 or 4 years. We have to have.
Be honest. When we got him, you thought right now we would be encroaching on a Stanley Cup.
At
Be
this
honest.
point in time, like this year, yes. When
Yes.
this was what, the end of his
Yes.
fifth or sixth year, I think. I thought by now,
So why does he get a
because
break?
he's Steve Yzerman. Because he did it with
Okay.
Tampa Bay.
You said it.
Yeah, he did it with Tampa Bay. The pipeline is strong. We have to start seeing it come to fruition now. It's make or break now. It would be a shame if they had to let go of Stevie. Would it tarnish his legacy? I think like minimally. I think that will always come up in future conversation. If
You don't think it's going to be like an Alan Trammell in Detroit? We already forgot about that.
I mean, Alan Trammell's a stud in Detroit sports folklore, but he's not Steve Yzerman. I think that
but that's
I
true.
think that it would tarnish his legacy minimally, very, very little, but it would be part of that forever then future conversation about Steve Yzerman as a Detroit Red Wing. But this is the make or break a year. We can't be on the outside looking in. We can't be this close anymore. We're the longest drought in playoff hockey now. But people also are so quick to forget how prolifically awesome we were for like 20 years. We came out of the dead wing era to win a cup and win another cup and win another cup and win another cup. And
Yeah, but think about all these fans that are old enough to watch these games that aren't old enough to remember that era. Like, great that we got to see that, but fucking the bars should still main. Like, have the Boston Bruins slowed up? Right? Have the
but we
Pittsburgh
entered a
Penguins slowed up?
complete stripped down rebuild to enter the Yzerman era. It's the Yzer plan. It's a pun, but the Yzer plan is a thing, and he has a vision, and it's drafting well, and it's not overpaying players. He didn't do enough, in my opinion, or a lot of folks' opinions, including Dylan Larkin, at the trade deadline. That was disappointing. I feel like if he would have been a buyer at the deadline, we may have made the playoffs, but at what cost? Do you want to make the playoffs, get bounced in the first round, and then not have a first round pick for 2 years, or trade away your pipeline to get a first round bounce? I think that Yzerman is very comfortable and steadfast in his plan, but it has to pay off this year.
Okay, so it's what or bust.
It's making the playoffs and winning a series, or Yzerman's out.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me?
Fuck it.
Playoffs?
You gotta win a goddamn game before you talk about playoffs.
So I agree. I mean, I may have just been baiting you to use that sound bite,
Right.
but I agree. Well, I'll tell you what. Speaking about that, I'm getting pretty hungry here, and I haven't said anything about Ray Lewis getting away with murder yet, so I just want to drop that.
You can say
because
that
he's the first and only.
We're gonna do a full tinfoil hat episode with Mark. I fully expect you to get on here with a tinfoil wrapped baseball hat, and we're gonna go through all of these conspiracy theories. Mark is somehow gonna tie Ray Lewis back to like the Epstein plane. I can hear it now.
We'll get close. Just find out.
The six degrees of Epstein.
Yes. Now I like where we're
Absolutely,
going.
dude.
Actually, you could just do the 6 degrees of Mossad or 6 degrees of CIA. I like where your head's at.
Bring
All right,
the heat, dude. I'm gonna splinter the CIA into 1,000 shards, and blow them into the wind like a feather. Bring the heat.
Before you get me going, thank you for hopping on, Hitch. Thank you for rocking some merch, and thank you for being you. And I hope you have a lovely
Right
evening.
back at you, brother.
Thank you,
Cheers.
sir. Peace.